What's going on, guys? Fuller here with Custom Offsets TV on the YouTube, joined by a guy that I'm not going to introduce yet because we're just going to jump right into the video. So Alex is a car guy and we're going to ask him 10 questions. So before I get too far and explain everything that you do, who are you? What do you drive?
My name is Alex. I'm from Fitment Industries and I drive a 2001 Porsche Turbo 911.
Cool.
Subarhana, RF2s, 19 by 8.5, 19 by 11. I'm sorry, we're not going to go into that. But yeah, pretty much. I've owned everything from Mazdas to E55s to Porsches to really crummy cars.
You've basically been a car guy your whole life.
Yeah,
so you're an excellent candidate for the video.
Well, don't know about that.
Okay, let's jump into the questions then. That's the first one, so it's kind of like a freebie.
Oh.
All right,
There we go.
So question 2. What are the top 3 reasons why you prefer a car over a truck?
Reason number 1 is I think most cars look better than most trucks. Just in my opinion, they just look sharper. I feel like you can just look good.
So
I love
you think CO2 doesn't look good?
Right, so it's a really big white truck. No, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I do think some trucks look absolutely killer. The second thing I would say is in terms of my lifestyle, I don't need like a truck as much as I need/enjoy a fun car. So in my eyes, I'm on like normal paved roads 99% of the time, if not 100% of the time. I haul very little, I move even less, and so I don't need a truck. I don't know why I would own a truck if I don't need a truck. Now I have a truck, but it's not like your kind of truck. It's literally just a truck. It's like, there's nothing special about it.
Yeah.
It's got, you know, a tonneau cover on it, and it's blue, stock wheels.
And that's it.
It's awesome. And the third reason that I prefer cars over trucks, the driving experience. Like, you get a driving experience in a car. I have yet to get a driving experience in a truck. Now, that's not to say that they don't exist, because I'm sure there are some like off-road trucks that are absolutely killer, but then you could say the same thing about like drift cars.
There's so many places you can go in a truck.
Yeah,
but you can't make it to
but we don't. We go to the mall in the trucks I mean, 90% of
the guys that are watching.
Anyway.
Yeah. So before we get everybody mad on the internet.
Right. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry.
Oh, well, this actually goes right along with it.
Oh boy.
So how much can your car tow? Like, how do you move like your boat or jet ski or?
So this
you just moved from Eau Claire to here. So how much did it tow?
So I have some really great news, okay? You guys may not have heard of this before, but there are companies out there that you can rent, like full-size haulers. There's a place, I think it's called, what is it? U-Haul, where you haul the stuff with a rented truck. So in terms of towing capacity, this thing tows nothing at all. You actually, I put my camera bag in the front and that's it. I can put my wife in the back seat. Just kidding, no I can't. I have to put her in the passenger seat and there's no other space. How do I tow stuff? I guess
Cause like I see car guys on Facebook all the time that are like, who's got a truck? Cause I gotta pick up my TV from Walmart.
You are 100%,
or this, I gotta get a treadmill, or I gotta pick up this and that.
You are 100% correct. Like in terms of a function aspect for like towing and things like that, trucks are awesome. And I love them. That's why I have a truck. The problem is my truck is not a truck. It's like I don't know.
It's a Chevy Silverado. It's a cat eye. It's basic.
Yeah, it's like
there's nothing done to it.
No, nothing. So I don't classify it as like
a truck.
You know. But yeah, I mean, I just usually tell people if they could just bring it to my house for $39.99, which, you know, a lot of places
Case of
do
beer
now.
is cheaper than $39.99 if you're just giving someone beer to use their truck.
That's very true.
The next one that everybody's going to be wanting to know is, could you explain the whole why your wheels look like
slanty wheels, right? Okay.
You drive around with your wheels all out of alignment.
How much time do I have? Do I have like 30 seconds?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Okay, so here's the thing with the car culture right now is everybody wants to be like the track car that's on the racetrack that you see on Sundays and Saturdays, which involves the battle arrow, the wide wheels, the over fenders, and the camber, which if you didn't know, there's functional camber for the track. It's right around -3 degrees for your turning. So here's the thing is all these guys want all this stuff, but none of them go to the track. So they get the battle arrow, they get the wide wheels, they get the over fenders, and you guessed it, they also get the camber. And now camber has gotten to a point where they do excessive camber to fit wide wheels under over fenders or stock bodies, and it looks a little bit silly. Now, my professional opinion, I am not a huge fan of super stance. I do like a little bit of stance if needed to fit the wheels underneath. Usually like 3 degrees is like
stance in your world, meaning the camber, where stance in our world is pushing your wheels 18 feet outside the
where
fender.
you could like run somebody over with just your wheels and not hit the truck. Yeah, that's a little bit different. But yeah, you have to remember that like the average car guy, I would say, in the current scene is much younger than a lot of the truck guys in the same culture, I would say. But I guess not really, because truck guys do the big, wide, pokey wheels. I mean, what's the difference? There's no function to wide wheels.
At least all of our rubber touches the ground.
Well, I mean, I guess, but you're losing
only
all
using
the
half
towing
your
capacity
tire.
by going 8.5 inches in the air.
You spent $2,000 on tires, and they're just gonna be like barely touch the ground.
You have a valid point, but at the same time, putting an 8.5-inch lift in a truck kind of negates a lot of the functionality.
Well, we
of
gotta compensate for something.
Well, I mean, true, but so do we. We do. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
So this car here,
Yeah.
you own it. It's a Porsche.
Yep. Or porch.
Porch.
If you're
It's boosted.
it is.
It makes a lot of power.
It does.
It has big brakes from GT3.
Yes.
So has plenty of stopping power. It's got good meaty rubber. It's set up to be quite fast. The driver's car.
Yeah.
But
there
most
it
of the
is.
time, it sits inside,
Yep.
in here,
Yep.
and you just look at it.
So-
and every time I say, let's go take the cars and go rip up like a canyon
Yeah,
road,
I'm like-
you're like, yeah, it's kind of far in the depreciation.
Yeah, so there is no way around to say that when it comes to my vehicles, I'm kind of a little bit conservative on the use of them, just a little bit. Now, I will say that I did use it a couple weekends ago. The whole front end is all covered in bugs and trash. I drove it like 130 miles because
I just
winter
assumed it was
coming.
stolen.
Yeah, well, it could have been. But everybody local to me knows that there's not a lot of cars that I excessively drive, especially when they're like ones I care about. The most I've ever driven a car was my E55, my AMG, and it was because I just loved driving that car so much. And if something broke, it wasn't relatively, unless it was electrical, that expensive. Datsun was always broken, so that doesn't even count. The Mazda, I finally got in Appleton, drove that till I sold it. The Miata is my wife's, and that has really tiny seats, so I don't fit in it anymore. And then if something breaks on this right before wintertime, it's a lot of money. So I'm careful with it.
So we're like lucky here because we have a Porsche dealership relatively close, but
Yeah.
if we didn't have the one in Appleton, how far do you have to drive just to get this thing serviced?
Connect the Cobb access port, clear the codes, and sell it.
Yeah.
Just kidding, I would
Where
not
we
do that.
can just-
Disclaimer, I would not do that. Chicago, I think, is the closest one.
Right, so like our GM trucks or Dodge trucks or Ford trucks, there's dealerships everywhere, or you can just go to AutoZone and you can get the oil filters and the air filters, and you got to special order everything.
Yeah,
So,
but I
kinda
mean,
sucks.
you pay to play, right? Think about how much the
he's
truck
so
guys
upset.
out there that lift their trucks, they do the function, they go tearing up these off-roads, they do the jumps, they do the bahang. That's not a cheap activity. You're saying that their parts cost the same as the O'Reilly Advanced Neon Underglow up from mile 7?
All right.
Trick
so
question.
You got a
The
point.
answer's no.
You got a point.
Think about the Ford Raptor. All of the performance modifications for that truck are insanely expensive. Even the fact
But it
that
doesn't need them. You can fit 35s on a Raptor stock and just go to town with it.
Yeah, but what about all the motor parts?
Speaking of going to town, situational question, right? So you pull into Walmart, typical Sunday evening, getting your groceries for the week.
Yep.
And then you
2 bags,
see,
by the way. That's all it
because you can
fits.
only fit,
Yeah.
you see a speed bump.
Right.
How do you proceed?
So, for me, in this particular car,
I'm talking about the big ones in the back.
So I'll tell you what I have done in the past, and I will tell you what I do now. So what I do now is I just go at it from an angle, I go nice and slow, right? Big speed bumps will still sometimes catch a little bit. Back in the day, I actually used to go in reverse depending on the car that I was driving in.
Wow,
I would
that seems
actually go
excessive.
backwards because I had side exhaust back on the Datsun that
Yes.
sat super low, but it was almost raked, or not, yeah, it was raked, so it actually could clear from the back a lot easier than it could clear from the front, and it had different spring rates and a whole bunch of different stuff.
You know, trucks can just like drive over them.
I mean, they can.
like, not even
I've
slow
seen
down.
them. Sometimes they just go over a lot more than speed bumps. They go over barricades. They'll go
That's
over
true.
places they're not
Through
supposed to
ditches,
go.
into the air,
Yeah, I mean,
launched off a culvert.
Yeah, they do everything.
But we
I've
made
seen
it.
them like do the whole lean up on like what a Jeep does.
Yeah.
By the way, the Jeep guys that do the thing with the tires on
Yeah.
top of the tire, that's awesome. That's badass.
You should get a Jeep.
Sounds expensive. I'm sure Jeeps are really easy to modify and cheap to maintain. That's a trick question because I know they're not.
All right, so another one here, and this is something that the truck guys might actually appreciate.
Sure.
If some of them are watching it and being like, I hate cars, why is this car video on here? So if you boiled it down to only 2 types of cars, you kind of have like your muscle cars and your tuner cars, and people just group everything that's German or imported
Yep.
into the tuner scene, and then there's your muscle cars because they have V8s and the rear-wheel drive.
Yep.
Muscle or tuner?
Wow, so like you're including like European cars in the import scene?
I'm mostly talking about a 1992 Honda Prelude.
Oh, so if I had to choose between straight tuner, like straight import, like Japanese.
Like
or,
Fast and Furious.
Yeah, or domestic, I'd probably choose domestic. I've always been a fan of American muscle. My old car had a 355 supercharged V8
Awesome.
because they were cheap, easy to modify. I broke them all the time and I just fix them by going back to the junkyard and getting more parts. America, like that's the thing is America does good stuff. Like especially a lot of their older stuff. I mean, they're great to work on. They're easy to replace. They're not expensive, but like now they are. You go to a new dealership and a lot of those new domestics are the same exact price as like a BMW 5 Series or a Mercedes S-Class, and it's ridiculous.
But you have so much more reliability with an LS.
You don't
LS
need-
swap the world.
Yeah, but you don't need that when you have something called a warranty, right?
I'm pretty good at avoiding those. Oh, you're married.
Yeah,
Yeah.
luckily.
Have a wife.
I do.
That's great.
Where is this going?
She likes cars as well. She likes that you have cars.
Yeah?
But her favorite vehicle that you own is your basic truck.
Yeah. So is that even a question? So my wife,
I put a question mark at the end of it, so it's a question.
My wife's dream vehicle is actually a blacked out Dodge Ram 1500.
She had one as a loaner, and like the V6 like Ram
The
Express.
most basic
like the
model,
most basic one.
And she loved it.
Yep.
She loves driving my basic truck more than any. She hates driving this. She doesn't. It's scary. The clutch goes in all sorts of places, and she's not excited for it. She likes her Miata, but she likes the truck way more. Yeah, I mean.
So I guess the question
like,
is it safe to say women prefer trucks over cars? I think the answer is apparent.
Well,
Moving on.
I'm just gonna leave that one. I'm just gonna let it go. Trucks that's a win for them. I'm gonna leave it be.
We live in Wisconsin,
Right.
where in April we got 26 inches of snow.
Now we hosted a car show the next weekend.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
So, like, how do you get to work and how do you get around in your lowered car that scrapes on everything?
So like functionally, a bone stock truck with nothing in the back sometimes behaves even worse than most front-wheel drive cars, right?
I
And
do
four-wheel
hate
drive
front-wheel
is
drive.
not the same as all-wheel drive, which we know. Which, if you guys did, I hope, never mind. You can make a
A video on
on it. For me, I just bought a car that I could drive in the wintertime until one of my coworkers smashed up the side of it, and then I had to
Yeah.
sell it. But I mean, besides that,
He
in case you
might
guys
be
are
filming
wondering,
the video.
He's literally filming the video. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I drive it, and then if I get stuck, I get stuck. I've never gotten stuck. I almost got stuck one time. I took my B7 wagon, my Avant, that was lowered, and slid it right into a ditch. And I was too stubborn to tell anybody that I did it, so I took the.
You just told about half of it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I took the floor mats out of the car, put them
Yeah,
underneath.
to try to get
Yep,
it.
and then shoveled it and
Yeah.
back and forth, back and
So maybe in some cases you've made it fine through the winters, but I think there's been plenty of times here where we get multiple phone calls and texts saying people can't make it because they have cars and they just can't get
Let me
here.
tell you, but what sounds a lot cooler? A base model truck sliding into a parking lot in the middle of winter, or like a boosted full bolt-on STI.
I'll
rev
tell you what
limiter.
sounds better is that naturally aspirated V8 bouncing off rev limiter,
At, like,
slamming
4K.
through, and then not getting stuck, and then going over the snowbank because they just can.
No, you have a good point. And the greatest part about it is that in the springtime, when you guys finally decide to wash your trucks, all the rust that has accumulated in the wheel wells over the past 6 months, it's already rusting. So you don't even have to worry about reselling
You just sell the truck before then.
Ask Banker, ask the mechanic.
His
Moving
truck's
forward,
messed up.
I'm sorry.
Yep. So the last one then, so we don't, less argumentative, more forward thinking. If you were to own a truck, which truck would you buy?
Ooh,
And what
there
would
are
you do to it?
so many cool trucks out there. There are so many cool like function. I would really like to own like a really cool functional truck. So there is a guy that I followed. I think it was he bought a Toyota Tacoma,
Okay.
the new one.
Yep.
And the upgraded model is what the
TRD.
TRD. And then he lifted it and he made it like pre-runner status. So he put like the tire on the back, like mounted at an angle, lifted it up, took off the front bumper, did this like metal fab thing. And it's my favorite truck. I follow it on Instagram. I absolutely love it. He takes it all around the country, takes it off-road, on-road, takes it to shows. I would own a brand new Toyota Tacoma TRD, I think, lifted. Now, do they haul anything? No, not really.
So they say that they're rated for 7,000 pounds, but when your vehicle isn't,
Yeah, I don't know.
seems sketchy to me.
I would just like it for the function though, that you could like throw stuff in the bed and then
They do look
put
good.
a little trailer on it.
A friend of mine just bought one and went with like an Icon Stage 3 Fox coilovers, and like the truck's very
They look
capable.
cool. Anything that's pre-runner though is probably like, in my eyes, anything that's just like small and looks like it could just go off jumps.
So it's kind of back to the function thing.
I mess with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely.
So that about wraps it up. Those are the 10 questions that we had for our car guy. If you guys want us to ask 10 questions to some other type of
As
person,
they're furiously typing in the comments.
just drop it in the comments below and we'll do that, and Alex will keep making noise while I try to close out the video.
Right.
Also, if you'd like to subscribe, we'll probably put a big circle right about here, and if you want to check out other videos, you can look at them on my left or my right. Peace.
Adios.
Thanks for coming by. Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
it was good to have you here.
Really,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I have,
if you want
No,
your
just have-
guy to call my
Sure,
guy in
right.
terms of payment, that would be super
that'd be great.
cool.
We'll have Mary get you a glass of water on the way out. Do you need anything else?
No,
Do you-
I'm good. I'm
the
good.
snacks
I'm
were
good.
fine?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Yep. Great. Have a nice day.